911, what's the emergency?
This is Vincent with the high school presentation. We have two cars wrecked and there's someone dead over on the side. And they're pulling people from the car.
Where are you at?
I'm at the VCB and it's bad. I think he's dead.
Okay, what's your name?
My name's Katie Walsh. I'm at the high school presentation of the DUI. I don't know what to do with it.
Okay, I'm going to send everybody to you, okay?
Okay.
Brett and his friends Tristan and Sydney were driving back to town after drinking at a kegger, when their fun-filled night turned into a nightmare. Brett had too much to drink and was driving too fast on his way back to town when she decided to pass Cameron and Brandon. As he went faster down the dirt road, his car went out of control. The car slid to the left and Brett overcorrected to the right. The car spun and rolled repeatedly and finally came to a rest on its side. Cameron had been searching for a good song on his iPod as Brett passed, so he was not paying attention as the car in front of him skidded and began to roll. By the time Cameron realized what was happening, it was too late to avoid a crash. Cameron tried to steer out of the way, but sent his car into a skid as well. His car slammed into Brett's car and sent Brandon flying out of a side window because he wasn't wearing his seatbelt. Gas was leaking from Cameron's car as it came to a rest, and a spark ignited the fuel into a fireball that quickly burned out. Faye, Selena, and Sadie had been drinking were following Brett home. They saw the crash and they called 911 as they frantically tried to locate and help all of their friends. The Montana Highway Patrol and the Muscle County Sheriff's Office are some of the first units on the scene. The Muscle County Fire Department responds to the scene and checks for more leaking gasoline and other hazards. Tristan wasn't wearing his seatbelt as Brett sped towards town. He's stunned and in shock. He tried to get out of the car on his own, but because of his injuries he can't. He is found lying halfway out of the car. EMTs are attending to Tristan and they find he's critically injured. They get him ready to be transported by placing him in a C-spine immobilization. Muscle County Ambulance is dispatched, and based on early information, they asked Help Flight from St. Vincent Healthcare to launch as well. Tristan is strapped to a backboard and his head is secured with tape and head blocks. Making sure he can't move and injure himself further is very important since he has many spinal injuries. An IV and oxygen are started on Tristan while he is quickly taken to Muscle County Healthcare where a trauma team waits for him. Working together, the fire and ambulance crews are finally able to get Sydney out of the car. She is transported to Muscle County Healthcare where a trauma team is waiting for her. A transport vehicle from Ware Funeral Home takes Brandon's body to the morgue at St. Vincent's in Billings. The body is held for an autopsy by the medical examiner. The coroner goes to Brandon's home and notifies the family of his death.
Ready?
And what?
Okay, 1, 2, 3. So we're looking for a portable chest out in the trauma room. Somebody might want
On
to.
the real one?
No, on the one.
Okay.
On the 2-1.
Yeah,
This is one.
Very careful.
Okay.
Oh, 2.
It's really important that you keep your head and neck still for us during this procedure, okay?
Yeah, before. Doing okay, Sydney? You still with us? Can you squeeze my fingers? Squeeze my fingers. Squeeze my fingers as hard as you can. Still no response. Okay. I'm gonna move you back and take you back to the ER again. She's still
Lie there.
So a little
Just calmly stand. Cough or cough.
we've got flight in the air for these two. Okay, fixed, wait.
So earlier it was said that she had a hospital. Is that what you said? So it's like pre-intubated? Okay.
This one probably hasn't been done, so the needle being left in the chest, they're putting a tube in it, most likely.
I cried twice because I was really afraid. I guess I was actually genuinely afraid.
I didn't think I'd be like covered in blood or anything, no. Like I just kind of thought I'd be like there. Like it's an eye opener for real. So I mean, that's good.
Well, it depends on my injuries. Like if I was paralyzed, I probably wouldn't be just sitting there and like I would be freaking out a lot more than what I actually did.
If I wouldn't have known that it was a setup, then I definitely would have been scared. It was very realistic. And knowing people who have made poor decisions like that, whether it was not being buckled or texting and driving or drinking and driving, it was really scary to know that that could have happened to someone that I really care about. If I would have known one of the people, I definitely would have been sad, and it would have been a very unreal feeling. And I don't think I really would have known how to respond, but I would have been very frantic for sure.
Is unresponsive, they've got massive trauma and they're bleeding. Yes, I can feel a thready pulse, but this guy over here is talking to me, and so in a trauma situation like that, we have to make a call and say, I can't save this person right now, but I can save these two people. Normally, we would have left with two because the other ambulance would have been there. And then we don't normally pull out of the ambulance barn with less than 3 people. And because this was a trauma, it wasn't a real one, that's why we had, because we have other people in the county that needed to be available in case something else happened. But we have people that are on call, and we have full-time people.
More likely, I would have been by myself. The other guy wouldn't have showed up until 20 minutes later when I called him out from home, you know, wherever he was sleeping. Because usually it's during, you know, like right now my night shift guy is my backup, so he's at home sleeping. And when I go home tonight, I'll be his backup, and he'll call me out at night. So
what we're doing is we're stabilizing the vehicles so the ambulance can get in and actually access you guys. Because if the vehicle's moving and rocking, especially the one on the side, you know, it could roll back over. Even on the wheels, you know, all it takes is just 3 millimeters if you have a cervical injury, and we could paralyze you, kill you. So that's why we want to make sure that we.
And that was the first thing I said when I walked up to him. I said, which vehicle stabilized? Are these vehicles stabilized? Because we're not going to go in there and have another accident that somebody else has to deal with, or someone else who's injured. So.
Yeah, and I think it was closest to you, so you might have heard her ask that. And at that point, we got our step chocks around for the initial stabilization, and then we have to develop a game plan. That's why it took a little while before you heard engines fire up and you started actually cutting and putting that blanket in your face. You know, it felt really weird.
Yeah.
But what that's there is to protect you further, because, you know, if that metal shards, you know, if they pop, you know, because it's all under tension, especially when it's rolled like that. You know, if we cut it, it'll release, and then we just want to make sure that the patient's
normally
protected.
there's glass.
Yeah. What's called step chocks. So, and it looks just like a staircase. So I can stabilize anything from a, you know, convertible all the way up to a jacked up truck. And what it is we put it under there and then we pound it in a little bit farther, and that keeps it from rocking. When we finally cut the roof that you were in, you know, did you feel how it rocked? Because after we cut the roof, it moved some of the stabilization. So that's why we stabilized it. They repositioned, and then you notice how you didn't really move other than us holding your head there.
Yeah, I didn't even know, like, when I was like off the car, like I didn't even know, because it was just so smooth. Well, other than the inflating thing, I was like, the inflating thing kind of had me like sideways, and I was like, okay.
That's what we strive for, is the less movement we can do, the less injury is going to be worse or compounded.
Rhett was processed for DUI after the crash. He was charged with vehicular homicide while under the influence and was found guilty. He is waiting his sentencing, which could be as much as 30 years in prison and $50,000 in fines. Brett will never forget this day or what happened to him and his friends, or the fact that he killed his friend Brandon, all because he and others made bad decisions that fateful night.